Hello and welcome back to another edition of Chill with Kaiju Kim. I'm Kaiju Kim. Hope you're all doing well on this lovely afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you. If you are a regular viewer, you may notice that the StreamYard branding is no longer present because I finally upgraded my account thanks to my fantastic patrons on Patreon. Additionally, this is the first episode of Chill with Kaiju Kim that is being streamed simultaneously on YouTube and Twitch. So if you are joining me from Twitch, hi, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a good time. So, Valentine's Day is just a few hours away. And so today I was going to have my fiance join the party, but to my dismay, he couldn't stay because he had to go make money. And now that I'm done rhyming, I can bring in tonight's guest who has been referred to as the Podfather. He is the man behind Kaiju Cast and is part of the YouTube channel Collect All Monsters. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Kyle Yount.
Hello, hello. And thank you for having me, Kim.
Thank you for coming on. It's an honor to have you.
It's an honor to be here for sure. Like I love the content that you've been producing recently.
Oh, really? Thank you. That's a lot coming from you.
Shaw. I'm a human like everybody else.
Oh, you're a human?
Yeah.
You're not a Roman? All right, let's see who we have in the chat tonight. We got Sunzilla 2008, All Hail Godzilla versus Megalon. Amen. Hallelujah. We got Leo Yokatan. What's going on? Bonus commentary. What's going on? Michael Hamilton. How's it going?
What's up, Michael?
We love Michael over here. And we got Kasaibo F29. Thank you for stopping by. And Leo likes your beard.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
It is a very nice beard.
Thank you. I'm very fond of it myself. It's a little out of control right now, but I do my best to tame it.
It looks pretty tame, so I think you're doing a pretty good job. All right, so do you want to give your quick little intro to the 5 people in the audience who may not know who you are?
Sure. My name's Kyle, and I am from the Pacific Northwest. I've been a kaiju fan for many years, and at some point in my life, I decided that just being a kaiju fan wasn't enough, and I wanted to produce cool things. And so I built a website called the Shrine of Gamera back in like 1999 or 98 or something like that. After that, I became the webmaster for a website called Henshin Online, and that was its thing for a while. And then back in 2009, I launched the Kaiju Cast, which was one of the first, really not the first, because there was at some point somebody had made a Kaiju podcast, but you couldn't find it anymore on any devices. But so then that came the Kaiju Cast after that, and so the Kaiju Cast was a 10-year project where I did all sorts of awesome stuff that is still available to listen to if anybody wanted to. It was an audio podcast that ended in December of 2019. After which I literally stepped off that platform and onto YouTube with Collect All Monsters, and I've been doing that for the past 2 years, and now we're on to year 3 and hopefully cool big things. And I feel like I've talked way too much now, so thank you for asking.
No, you're good. I always tell my guests that the reason I started having guests is because they do all the talking, and I'm an awkward fish. So, all right.
I see a couple more people have joined the chat, including one of my co-hosts, Leslie Chambers.
How's it going, Leslie?
It's not going to be. It wouldn't be too vengeful. I would keep my composure on a broadcast, of course. I'm a pro. I'm a keep it professional at all times.
Awesome. All right. So before we get into our main topic, I like to ask my guests 3 main questions to get the conversation rolling. So, how did you get into Godzilla? What's your favorite Godzilla movie? And what is your favorite non-Godzilla kaiju movie?
Excellent, excellent questions. Okay, how I got into Godzilla. Dinosaurs, real classic answer. I loved dinosaurs as a kid. I saw some tokusatsu shows when I was younger, like first grade era kind of stuff. I watched a little Spectre Man and some Space Giants, and the Godzilla Power Hour was definitely prime time Saturday morning for me. I know that's not prime time literally, but anyway, that was my introduction to Godzilla as a character. But I didn't really get into Godzilla until I lived in Japan as a teenager with my family, and I saw Godzilla 1985 on TV, and I was like, "Where has this been all of my life?" And then that was the beginning of the end for me, really. Oh, and then so the other questions were, what is my favorite
Your favorite,
Godzilla movie?
your favorite Godzilla movie and your favorite non-Godzilla kaiju movie.
Okay, favorite Godzilla movie is at this moment it is Monster Zero. Definitely, it fluctuates as some people know. It's sometimes it's Monster Zero, sometimes it's GMK. I love both of those movies so much for different reasons. And then favorite kaiju movie that's not Godzilla, Gamera 2, Advent of Legion. But the whole series just fantastic.
Yeah, that's a great series. Ah, good, you got good answers there. Yeah,
Thank you,
I
thank you.
prefer Guardian of the Universe myself, but to each their own.
Now we're going to get into a huge argument about that. I love dude, Gamera Guardian of the Universe was mind blowing at the time. I was working at a delivery company, and my friend at the delivery company had a hookup with a videotape distributor, and he was like, "Dude, I got the new Gamera movie." I was like, "How do you even know what Gamera is?" And he brought it to me, and I was just completely blown away by it. That entire trilogy, just from the first movie to the second movie to the third movie, just leaps and bounds of improvements are made, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, let's get rolling with our conversation. So, tonight's topic is how to love a nerd, hence the title. So, whether you have a nerdy partner or you are the nerdy partner, it's important to show love and appreciation in any way you can, and that includes enduring each other's interests even when they differ from your own. This goes for friends and family too, but since tomorrow is Valentine's Day, we're going to be mostly talking about significant others. So, Kyle, you are obviously a fellow Godzilla nerd or kaiju nerd in general.
This
So,
is true.
yes, how does your partner feel about your nerdiness?
My partner is, I would say, way more than just a person that tolerates my nerdery. She celebrates it, and she actually finds it endearing. And like, she has her own nerdy ways about her as well, but she has, I started the podcast in 2009, like I said, and she and I didn't get together till 2012. So when we got together, I was like, "You need to know this about me. This is who I am." And she was just like, "That's awesome." When she came into this room and saw the collection, she was like, "That's awesome." And she never, ever was disparaging about it. She is willing to watch stuff. And she eventually found out that she really enjoys Ultraman, like the original 1966 Ultraman. And so we were able to bond over that even more than just her being an observer on the side, which is awesome.
That is awesome. Well, I was also fortunate enough to find someone who's also kind of a nerd. He's more into Star Wars than he is to kaiju and tokusatsu, but he understands where I'm coming from with my Godzilla obsession, and he has willingly sat down and watched multiple Godzilla movies with me, and that makes me happy. And I return the favor by watching Star Wars stuff with him because it makes him happy. So
That's
would you
awesome.
agree? Would you agree that little stuff like watching a certain movie or TV show with your partner just because they like it is important?
Absolutely. It first up, it shows that you are taking an interest in the interests that they have, which is important for growing together in a relationship, I think. Like absolutely, my wife she of course was a girlfriend for 8 years, and we got married a couple of years ago, or like 3 years ago. She is an Anglophile, loves England, and when we got together, she had a ton of recommendations on like British shows and British adjacent shows, and we totally like watched a whole bunch of that stuff and just bonded over it. And I might not have that deep appreciation for England and its rich history, but I really did have fun watching that stuff with her, and I learned a lot just about their own culture over there. And I think she feels the same way about watching Japanese stuff with me too.
That's awesome. And your friend Leslie says, "That's so darn beautiful. Where's the Kleenex?" It's not every day you meet such a supportive partner. It's so, yes. Leo says, "Honestly, if I met someone and they showed me as such an array of special collectibles, I think they're loaded." I mean, you kind of have to be, somewhat to have a collection like that or like yours, but gotta rein it in a little bit so we can continue to pay bills and rent and buy groceries.
Exactly. You got to be responsible. Collect responsibly.
Yes, collect responsibly. From bonus commentary, accepting the fandom your partner is involved in with is all part of the fun of getting to know them and does strengthen the bond. Yes, indeed.
I completely agree.
I absolutely agree. And Michael says his girlfriend Julie appreciates his love of kaiju and he appreciates her love of Monty Python. I mean, who doesn't love Monty Python?
You got to join in the funny walks every once in a while, right?
Yeah. That's the only way I walk is the funny walk. All right. So, yeah. Obviously, both of our partners are awesome. They support our nerdiness. But there may be some people watching who have a partner or someone in their lives, whether it's friends or family or whatever, that maybe doesn't quite understand that side of them. And they're like, why are you into that stuff? Like, or can you please shut up about Godzilla? I'm like, I've had that happen to me. I don't know about you. So what is your experience with people like that?
Generally speaking, I I guess so. In the city that I live in, I approached a theater about doing. This is not going to sound related, but I promise it is. I approached the theater about doing a film festival, and they accepted it. They loved the idea, and it was partially because of my enthusiasm, because I have enthusiasm for this genre, a lot of enthusiasm. But I also I was raised by parents who were raised by parents who had like the whole children are seen and not heard kind of thing. So I kind of know just from being raised by them subsequently, I know that sort of like not everybody wants to hear what you're saying all the time kind of thing. So I sort of pulled back anyway. Like it's not something I show everybody all the time. Now, if somebody walks into my house and they walk into this room, it's because I trust that they're going to enjoy the experience of walking into a room like this. But like generally speaking, I haven't had many people in my life that have been like, "Yo, dude, dial it back on the kaiju thing." And I've been very lucky about that. But I mean, really, people should be able to enjoy what they want to enjoy, and it bums me out whenever I hear about somebody who's sort of confronted in a negative way about loving the genre and everything that comes with it.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. Really quick, just want to pop up this question from Sunzilla 2008. What is your favorite Godzilla figure?
Oh my gosh.
How much time we got?
Oh man. Okay. So my favorite Godzilla figure. That's a really tough question because I have so many of them. So I have to say that probably my favorite Godzilla figure is not a Godzilla figure, but it's a Godzilla adjacent figure, which was a model kit of the 2001 concept Varan that came out from M1, and I built it and painted it, and it's like probably one of my favorite things in the whole collection.
That's awesome. I don't have a Varan. I should get
Oh, I love Varan. I'm a member of the cult of Varan for sure. I absolutely love the design of that creature, and I think that the movie is what it is. It's not a great kaiju movie, but like he deserves to at least be remembered fondly. I don't know if I need him to be in a new movie or anything like that, but yeah, I think that more
maybe.
people should love Varan.
Yeah, I guess Varan needs a second chance. I feel like he deserves a second chance because he had like what a 0.2 second cameo and destroy all monsters.
Definitely something. He needs something more than just flying over the hill like for a second.
All right, yeah. So going back to our conversation about people not really accepting your nerdiness. So like as a kid, I would always draw pictures of Godzilla and talk about how awesome the movies are, and my friends would be just kind of like, okay. And I don't know about you. Maybe I'm kind of oversensitive, but I hate when people do that. Like you're talking to them about something that you love and you're enthusiastic about it and they just respond with okay. And like
Yeah.
just like at least humor me and be more like, "Oh, that's cool." Like just you don't have to care about what I'm talking about, but at least make an effort to not sound bored or annoyed. Like it just makes
Yeah.
me it just makes me feel more awkward than I already am. Do you see this awkwardness right here? I don't need you to make me feel more awkward.
Yeah. That's a bummer when somebody shuts you down like that.
It's annoying. Like I guess like you said, you don't really have any experiences like that, but like is there anything that gets to you or rubs you the wrong way when sharing something you love and you're just met with eh?
I think definitely, yeah, and trust me, there have been many times where I've like posted a link to an episode that I just did, and the responses underwhelming to say the least. I mean, it's just one of those things that I think I learned to live with that kind of stuff. But at least I would say that these days, thankfully, people like us have places to go to enjoy conversation about the kind of stuff that we love, you know? And even the idea of like creating a podcast or creating a video show like this, it was so unacceptable so many years ago. And now it's absolutely accessible for people these days to like start their own thing and talk with kaiju about with other people that like kaiju, and that way you don't have to worry about the idiots at your work who have no idea what the difference between the 55 suit and the 54 suit is.
Like to the normal people eyes, it's like they look exactly the same. I can't tell the difference. I'm like,
Right,
they're
right.
so different. What do you mean?
For sure, for sure.
Bonus commentary says it is kind of odd that this in this modern era of nerd culture, I can't read, that you're getting any kind of negative response. I actually have some folks coming to me looking for more information about kaiju films.
Nice. Yeah.
I wish I
Yeah.
had people like that in my life.
Oh, they'll come. You basically like you're already setting yourself up as a person that people come to for things, right? You've got how many people we got watching live right now? Like that's
Nine.
nine people who are like, tell me what the business is, Kim. You know, it's gonna happen.
Maybe they just stumbled across it and like, oh, who's this random chick? And then Kaiju Kim.exe has stopped working. That happens quite a bit. It's not a true episode of Chill with Kaiju Kim if I don't stop working. My brain just goes like,
Fizzle.
oh my goodness. From Leslie, people that don't support an angelic and joyous person like Kyle need to get beat with a bag of old phone books, in my opinion.
Ooh. Careful, man. This is my second marriage. There was someone before Lady Kyle.
Yikes. All right, another question from Sunzilla 2008. Would you rather watch Godzilla's Revenge or watch Godzilla's Super Monster, Gamera Super Monster?
Oh, no contests. Godzilla's Revenge is like 500 times better than Gamera's Super Monster. I'm a
Yeah.
fan of Godzilla's Revenge. I actually like that movie.
Yeah, it's like I watched it like a few months back with my nephew, and it was like, oh, it's actually quite a kind of entertaining. Yeah.
It's like how do I say this? It is a movie that because of its storytelling style and because of its infamous inclusion of so much stock footage that people give it a really hard time, and I even did that myself, but really once I took a sort of step away from that, there's no real Godzilla footage in it, like mentality, and I learned more about it. Not saying you have to learn about these films to really enjoy them, but like the fact that it's a unique film inside of the entire series where Godzilla exists in real life, but he's not coming into the existence of the people in the movie, and the fact that it's literally all taking place inside this kid's head, and it's an allegory for teaching him how to defend himself, which he ends up needing for to defend himself against some bank robber bullies. Like that's interesting to me. You know, even if the monster action is just Godzilla swinging around Gabara and Minya getting electrocuted, but honestly, even Gamera Super Monster has a couple of redeeming values too.
Yeah, I agree with that. They both have their merits. That they're by no means perfect movies, but they're worth watching at least once. At least once.
Ichiro is cinema's greatest monster.
Yes. All right, let's move on. Let's see, where were we with our conversation? Yeah. But yeah, it can definitely be a challenge when being with someone or just talking to someone who doesn't quite understand why you're such a nerd. But on the flip side, because love is a two-way street, we have to remember to be respectful of what your partner is into. Like they may not be a Godzilla nerd or a kaiju nerd, but they could be nerdy about other things. Like, for example, my fiance loves going to record stores and collecting vinyl records, and he also likes taking photos of graffiti. I don't fully understand it, but it's what he loves. And you mentioned something about your wife liking British TV shows or something along those.
Yeah, she just sort of she wasn't really nerdy about a lot of things, but just when we got together, she liked stuff about England, and she had lived in England, and so there was a little romanticization happening, and she still loves England, and we fully are planning to go at some point. But yeah, eventually she basically told me her entire nerd history, which thankfully she had cool family members who were like, "Oh yeah, you got to check out this Star Wars movie," you know. So she wasn't like she's nerdy by default as opposed to someone who like sort of is into one specific thing. And speaking of Star Wars, because I know you said your husband's into Star Wars too, the Mandalorian, when that came out, she's like, "Oh my god, I want all the baby Yodas." And so she had like a corner of our room dedicated to baby Yoda stuff. And I was like, "Get as much as you want. I cannot put any judgment on you for buying multiple baby Yoda things because my collection, yeah." And she's like,
Yeah.
"I'm not even going to try to get your collection." I'm like, "You better not. It would bankrupt you."
But yeah, Baby Yoda is freaking adorable. I have to agree with her. From Leslie, which Showa villain had the better debut film, King Ghidorah in 1964 or Mecha Godzilla in 1974?
I would definitely say Mechagodzilla in 1974. More entertaining than King Ghidorah, even though in my later years I've come to respect both.
Yeah. Mecha Godzilla has better music, I think.
Definitely swingier for sure.
Yeah. The Mandalorian, I thought you said the Mandalorian.
Mandalorian, yes. Now
Mandalorian.
And I know I probably should be calling him Grogu instead of Baby Yoda.
I
But
mean,
hey,
Baby Yoda
whatever.
sounds cuter. I mean, kind of.
It's more Godzilla adjacent. So you got Baby Godzilla, Baby Yoda.
There you go. So it's Baby Yoda. Michael agrees. Mechagodzilla 74, one. Yeah.
1 kabillion.
One
I think that's
kabillion %.
kabillion.
Yes, there we go. That's the correct unit there. Very good. All right. So, ooh, hey, Danny, how's it going? Did King Ghidorah get a swinging jazz accompaniment with his debut? Didn't think so.
Nope, and even
Yeah.
for his last appearance in the Showa era, they just used Ifukube's canned music, which was still good, but still, they
I
didn't write anything new
mean,
for him in his last appearance. He was like so decrepit when he came to the studio for that shoot in '72.
yeah. So like menacing music, swingy jazz tune. Yeah. All right. Question from bonus commentary. Okay, it's date 4. Your date is over and wants you to show them a Godzilla movie. What is the Godzilla movie you put on for them? Good question.
Great question, and no kidding, that was actually you're probably really close on like date number with Lady Kyle. It was early on in the process, and we were. I have a home theater here. If that was, I forgot to mention that earlier, and the first movie I showed her was GMK because I thought, okay, I'm going to go for something with updated special effects, so she's not just going to be laughing at anything, and I'm going to go for something where it's like you don't have to have chronology behind it to enjoy it. However, maybe a week later, we watched Destroy All Monsters, and she was like, no, Destroy All Monsters is my jam. Forget about like GMK. She didn't like that one nearly as much.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm trying to remember what is the first Godzilla movie I made my fiance watch when we first started, getting together. I'm trying to think. I think the first. I think actually the first one we saw together is Shin Godzilla, of all things.
That's an
So
interesting starting film for sure.
yeah, yeah. There was probably one before that, but I can't think of it for the life of me. But yeah, Shin Godzilla is a good film to start with. I guess
I would
it was
ask,
kind of a reboot.
did your husband have any prior Godzilla experience? Like, had he seen Godzilla movies before?
Yeah, he's seen them on TV like when he was a kid, but he wasn't like really like super into it like I was when I was a kid.
Right,
But like as soon
right,
as he got with me, and I was like, okay, we're gonna watch some Godzilla movies, and you're gonna have a good time.
for sure.
All right. So another question from Leslie: most overrated Godzilla film? I think I know Kyle's answer, but it's always fun to ask this question. Overrated.
Overrated. I mean,
Looking over my collection, see if I can
the
pick
thing is,
something.
Leslie does know my answer to this question, and it's somewhat controversial, and I know he's asking it so to get a rise out of me because that's what Leslie does. Man, some people really disagree with me on this, but I think Terror of Mechagodzilla is overrated.
Really?
Really, I also think that Godzilla versus King Ghidorah from 1991 is also overrated. And I'll see myself out. Thank you for having me on the show.
All right. Bye. Thanks for coming. So you think King Ghidorah 91 is overrated? I've heard not nice things about that film. I'm surprised, you think it's overrated. I thought maybe it was underrated.
Yeah,
I
there's a lot of people that they've I think jumped on my bandwagon. Let's just say that probably my voice as a podcaster has created a ripple effect where my opinions might be less controversial these days. But yeah, so Terror of Mechagodzilla, as Leslie knows, a lot of people just kind of like they're like, oh, it's the return of Akihiko Harada, and he's playing another scientist, and it's the Fukube's music is back, and is directed by Ashiro Honda, and all of those things are true. And there's even more, right? More like links to other cool things. But to me, the end result of Terror of Mechagodzilla doesn't have the impact that I would like those people to have delivered to me, and it comes across as way more cheesy than the serious or even fun Godzilla of the 60s. It's way different in my opinion. And then for Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, that I guess I'm glad that it's not lauded as high as it was before, because man, there was a time when people, they really were like, "Ooh, that movie is so awesome," and I'm like, "No, the time travel, it kills everything for me."
Yeah, a lot of people hate the time travel thing. Just like, yeah, I guess I can see why.
I mean, the effects are uneven. The Heisei era is obviously notorious for swiping American scenes from movies and doing them worse than we do. Like the whole Indiana Jones stuff going on in Godzilla versus Mothra, and even the robot build stuff, the CGI building of Mechagodzilla. Like there were parts of it that I was like, "Ooh, this is awesome" in the '93 movie, but it's also just totally blatantly ripping off American stuff, and even like Aliens being ripped off by the Godzilla versus Destroyer. I love those movies to death, but I just can't get behind Danny's statement about. I'm just kidding. I'm making fun of Danny Demana, who's in the chat right now, saying it's been nice knowing me. But yeah, I love all Godzilla movies, but there's definitely some that have suffered from age and comparison, honestly, to other better films.
Yeah. Bitori and Goji says Godzilla versus Destroyer may be overrated.
I
Interesting.
understand that. It's still one of my favorites from the Heisei era, though. But yeah, it's got as time marches on, that movie has less and less appeal to me. But I do
Yeah,
love it.
I kind of have a love-hate relationship with that movie. Like, it's a good movie, objectively, but like, I have my own issues with it that I won't get into here. Okay. Otherwise, we'll be here for a while. From Michael. Okay, it's the wedding day now. Godzilla cake topper, and yes, because that's the only answer. Yes. Which Godzilla design is it? Good question. Let's see.
Probably whatever Godzilla figure I have that's about that tall. And yeah, definitely Godzilla cake topper. I think,
Absolutely, 100%.
yeah, we didn't have a cake for our wedding. We had it super mega small. But if we had we did have plans actually to have a big party for our friends, and we had crazy ideas about what to do. But definitely, I think a Godzilla cake topper was on there. And in terms of which Godzilla, it probably would have been like the 92, 93 Godzilla.
Yeah, that's a good choice. Hey, say,
Classic.
I have a little Final Wars one that's like kind of little like that. That's like this big.
There you go.
It's over there somewhere, and so
Not
yeah,
an X
probably.
plus figure or anything like that. Nothing
Oh
expensive
no,
on the cake. No vintage,
no
you know.
Victoria. Yes. Bonus commentary. Keeping on topic, best human romance in a Godzilla film.
Wow.
Astronaut Glenn and Miss Namikawa, obviously.
That's, I think, one of the strongest ones for sure. I also, I know that it's a little, the relationship between Akira Kubo and, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting her name, but in Destroy All Monsters, where she gets taken over by the Kilax,
Hmm.
and like their relationship, how it basically kind of starts out in the beginning of the movie, and you're like, hey, everything's happy go lucky, yeah, and then she gets stolen and taken away, and her demeanor just changes. I know they don't have like a good romance scene or anything like that, but when he rips her earrings out because he's trying to like rid their control of her, I thought that was dangerously romantic in some way.
I just saw it as painful, not necessarily romantic, but romance can be painful sometimes.
I mean, maybe he's just a jerk. That's like definitely
That's awesome.
some type of abuse, I'm sure.
Danny likes Don Fry and his mustache. I mean, yep, I stand corrected. That is the most awesome romance.
I will say that while I was just giving Godzilla versus Mothra a little guff, the romance between the mom of the daughter and the dad of the daughter and how they were sort of like estranged, but maybe like I felt that a little more than I felt that with felt some connections with other lovers in the in the universe.
And the girl's name from Destroying All Monsters is Kyoko Manabe. You are welcome.
Ah, yes, that is the name of the character. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for reminding us. All right, let's see what else we got here. Going a little off topic.
Hang on. My nerd brain just kicked in.
Oh,
Yukiko Kobayashi was the name I was trying to remember. That's the gal uh, who played Manabe. So there you go. Back to you, Leslie. No, just kidding. Back to you, Kim.
all right. So, going a little bit back off topic just for a moment. Thoughts on the legendary MonsterVerse and how's it been so far, and the announced Apple Plus TV series?
Okay. So my thoughts on the MonsterVerse. The MonsterVerse is what the MonsterVerse is. I don't love the MonsterVerse, but I don't hate the MonsterVerse. And when I think back to way back when we didn't have American Godzilla movies, and there were rumblings about like, oh, America's going to make a Godzilla movie. I have to say that those three films sort of gave me what I was looking for in an American Godzilla movie. I never would consider anything super deep to come out of American cinema and a monster movie, just because I don't think that Hollywood would try to pair those two things. And I think that that's fine for audiences, and that's cool. And in terms of the series being announced, I'm very interested in that because after seeing King of the Monsters in 2019, I remember walking out of the theater and being like, dude, I want to work for Monarch. That looks like they're doing the kind of work that I want to do. I was like, that's some of the stuff that I liked from like the Heisei era, just kind of that vibe in the MonsterVerse series. And so taking a step back in time to, I think it's taking place after 2014. Like, I think that's a good call because whatever happened in between 2014 and 2019, the world was, Monarch was introduced to a whole bunch of Titans. And so I think the development of a story of finding those Titans, that is exactly what the story should be. So fingers crossed that it's going to be good.
Yeah, I do. I am interested in the Apple Plus TV series. I don't have Apple TV Plus, unfortunately, but maybe someone will leak it online and I can pirate it illegally. Shh, don't say anything. But yeah, I like the MonsterVerse. I especially love King Kong. King of the Monsters. There we go. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. But yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite of the three.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I walked out of that theater like they finally got Godzilla right. Yes.
Nice. Yeah, I remember being really happy with that. I remember from the first film, I remember walking out and saying, well, that was better than the 98 movie. And then the 2019 one I was really happy with. And then the Godzilla versus Kong movie, I was like, that was insane. Like, I feel like I need to take a Dramamine.
All right. So, yeah, back to our topic. Like I said, when you love someone, it's important to endure each other's interests, whether you understand them or not. And don't just endure them, like, respect them. Don't insult them or put them down for enjoying things. Just go along with it and try to have a good time. You have anything to add to that? Any advice to anyone in a nerdy relationship?
I would just say, like, I mean, absolutely echoing that. Yes. Like taking interest in your partner is essential for creating an environment where you both feel safe and loved, right? And like for any, I guess I would say, if you and your partner are the kind of people that can like jokingly talk smack about each other and talk smack about their interests and it doesn't bother them, awesome. But just keep in mind, like, if you are a kaiju fan, you've had a lot of people talk a lot of trash about kaiju movies all your life, and you might not be interested in getting hurt again by that. Actually, you know what? I have an even better example than just the kaiju movies. One of the other things that I love is Japanese horror films, and the whole J horror boom of the late 1990s, early 2000s. I was in heaven for that stuff. There's a movie that came out at that time called Pulse or Kaido, and that movie is somber, dark, slow, but terrifying in certain ways that I've never seen done in other horror movies. Flash forward to me meeting my wife, Lady Kyle, and one of the things that I guess, how am I going to say this without making it sound bad? She has not found Japanese horror movies super scary. Just as a general fact, like whatever the vibe is that's put off by those movies doesn't trigger her fear response, I guess. So my concern was that if I showed her this movie, she was going to be like, "Oh, this is stupid. This doesn't make sense." But the fact of the matter is that the two of us are very communicative about what we love, and like neither of us would want to hurt the other one's feelings. Like, so I straight up said one time, I was like, I don't know if I want you to watch this movie because I know you kind of like, I don't want you to rip it apart while I love it so much. And she respects that. And I mean, I would never talk down to anybody's fanaticism, whether it's a giant monster thing, Star Wars thing, loving England, or whatever. As long as it's not hurting anybody, all good.
Yeah, I think a lot of people on the internet need to have that mindset. Like, if it's not hurting anyone, then why are you so angry that someone else likes it? Like, just take the stick out of your butt, but let people enjoy things. Okay, they're not hurting anybody. They're
For
just
sure.
having a good time. Yeah, so that just about wraps up our discussion. We can wrap it up here if we'd like. So why don't we go ahead and plug your stuff, let people know where they can find you.
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, thank you again for having me on. I really appreciate being on here, and hope if anybody out there is experiencing any negativity in their relationship due to giant monster attacks or the genre itself, like maybe some of what we said has resonated with you. That'd be kind of cool. But honestly, like, I'm just glad to have been part of this. Thank you for asking me to be part of this, or thank you for having me be part of it. My stuff, you can still find all of the old Kaiju Cast episodes on like iTunes and other podcatchers. Wow, am I gonna have to like go into my old thing? I don't remember what I used to say at the end of the episodes. But yeah, so all the old episodes are on iTunes and other podcatchers, and on kaijucast.com, where that website is still active and still searchable, and there's still an episode list. Anyway, aside from that, I have a new show that we talked about earlier called Collect All Monsters, which we've been doing for the past 2 years and jumping into our third year right now with Leslie Chambers, David Dopko, John Ruffin, and Christine Chapin. And we talk about kaiju collectibles for like 2 hours every time, almost not missing a beat on that. Like, it's a 2 hour show. We love talking about that stuff. And we even have a Facebook group called the Collect All Monsters, Monster Collectors, where we do even more streams, and yeah, just really try to create a killer community of kaiju collectors. Feel free to check us out, and I guess you could go to Collect All Monsters. Just go to YouTube and search Collect All Monsters and subscribe that way. That's the best way to do it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Kyle, so much for coming on to my show. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much.
All right. And to you watching at home, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with me and my fantastic guest. And an extra special thank you to Brian Truong, Rogue Firefly, Hipster Punchy, Bonus Commentary, Danny Demana, Nathan Marchand, and Miguel Barroso for supporting me on Patreon. If you want to be cool like those people I just mentioned, you can follow the link down below in the description to become a patron for just $1 a month. Not only will you get a live shout out at the end of each episode of Chill with Kaiju Kim, you will also get access to exclusive content such as unreleased videos, behind the scenes vlogs, and bloopers. All right, don't forget to subscribe or follow this channel if you haven't already. Like the stream if you had a good time here tonight, and be sure to come back next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, for another edition of Chill with Kaiju Kim. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.